How do you do, fellow kids? I am here with another Masters of the Universe review. This is Tri-Klops. This is a I don't know. I'm really excited about this one. Tri-Klops is obviously, he's got a little bit of a monstrous vibe. He's a villain, but he is, in my mind and in my head canon, he is like Skeletor's swordsman. He's got a pretty cool long sword that is packed in there. It looks like he even has a little bit of a loop right there to act as kind of a back holster. And yeah, I kind of dig the idea of having a swordsman to to fight, sword fight with our heroes. Obviously, Merman has a sword, but I don't know. For some reason, I feel like Merman is he's got his own thing. To me, Tri-Klops is he is a swordsman, and obviously having that kind of 360 view helps him fight in battle and stuff. He's human, so he's got human human features, human arms, human legs. The only thing that is basically kind of inhuman about him is his eyes. So let's go ahead and take a look. Tri-Klops, evil and sees everything. Let's take a look at the beautiful artwork on the back. It's Tri-Klops, and he's firing a blast out of one of his eyes at He-Man, who is riding Battle Cat, kind of in this desolate volcano area of Eternia. Who do we have up here? We have Screech backing him up. This is at least this isn't the first time we've seen Screech in some of the artwork. I believe the artist is Axel Jimenez, who I follow on Instagram. His work is great. It's almost like he is the perfect combination of like Frazetta and that 80s cartoon or animation style. So I really dig the work he's been doing. And let's go ahead and read this. Tri-Klops' multiple vision modes and optic attacks make him a dangerous soldier in Skeletor's army. Oh, look, there's Zoar here. So we've got both those eagles. They haven't been announced, but really excited about the idea of those guys being released. We've got Tri-Klops is in the wave with Stratos and Hordak and Ninjor. I've already opened up my Ninjor, and so Tri-Klops will be joining them. This is a mostly villainous line, or villainous wave. And so I can't remember, I've lost track because Wave 3 and Wave 4 kind of ended up getting announced, released, available, sort of at the same time. It was kind of during that sort of crossover between when it was a Walmart exclusive to when it was more widely released. And so yeah, I got this Tri-Klops. I got this guy. I found him on the pegs at a Target. Most of the action figures that I've seen at retail have been He-Man and Skeletor, some Battle Cats. I've now been seeing a lot of Panthors, or a few Panthors on the shelves, and multiple Targets, and I've been seeing Sky Sleds. In fact, since I ran across the Sky Sleds and I loved them so much, I put my money where my mouth is, and I did end up buying a second Sky Sled. Here's the second figure for our review. This is part of the second wave, and you can see that it says new for 20. So these were meant to be released in 2020. I got this one from Entertainment Earth, and I think that's partially because, first of all, since in 2021, Entertainment Earth could, is no longer exclusive to Walmart, and Entertainment Earth could start to carry them. But also, I think Mattel has been good about, filling in the gaps where they know that there's demand. They'll re-release these products. If you've watched any videos on my channel, you probably ran across the one where I was talking about my utter heartbreak that I couldn't find the Target exclusive Rise of Evil 2-pack. I'm really hoping that that Mattel listens to the fans and realizes that there are a lot of people who aren't able to get that, and we really want that. And that's really cool. Kind of a pre-Skeletor version of Skeletor, and like a Trapjaw. Their names are Keldor, which is Skeletor before he became Skeletor, and Cronus before he became Trapjaw. But before I end up going on a rant about that, I'm going to go ahead and release these guys from their packaging. Focus on what I am able to get rather than what I'm not able to get, and hopefully we'll be doing a review of the Rise of Evil 2-pack pretty soon. All right, so here we got our two characters, our hero, Manny Faces, and our villain here with Tri-Klops. Funny. I picked these guys to open together. I have a couple more in the package that I need to open, but they both have kind of like spinning head gimmicks, where Manny Faces has different faces and Tri-Klops has 3 different eyes. So interesting. I feel like these are a little different than the originals. I think maybe I'm wrong. Tri-Klops is not a figure that I had growing up, but I do really like him. I really like his whole evil human. Other than Evil Lynn may not be human. She's all yellow, but in the animated series she was she was human. I think he is like the only human villain. So the posability really works well for like good swordsman stances. He kind of reminds me, he's got like a square jaw, and with this sword he kind of reminds me of, I wonder if he is a little bit inspired by Arnold Schwarzenegger's depiction of Conan from the 80s. Very, very cool figure. Really the orange and the green really pop. Of course, he comes with this like back sheath type thing here. Kind of looks weird. Is that supposed to be more this way? Not sure. Not totally sure. But I do like his whole little armor harness type thing. He looks really cool. Looks ready for battle. Does have a good villainous vibe, although with the blue eye, he kind of looks sad and like he's a sympathetic character. But he quickly turns. So So yeah, he's pretty interesting. The only other human villain or human-esque villain I can think of is is it King Cobra, who appears at first to be a hero, and but he sheds his skin and reveals himself to be an evil snake man. So I'll go ahead and I'm gonna move Tri-Klops for a second and focus on Man-E-Faces. Man-E-Faces is a character that I had when I was growing up. I did think he was really neat, and I do like the gimmick. I think it's cool that they got his head to rotate, along with the faces, but his entire head can actually rotate, which is, I think, an improvement. He does have kind of weird yellowish skin. Let's see. I don't know which face I like the most. I don't know. I kind of like the monster face. Although the way that the bright green kind of washes out some of those details. It would be interesting. I don't know if I could take him apart, but it would be interesting to kind of put a dark wash in there, kind of get some of those details a little more visible. He comes with a blaster. He comes with a pretty neat blaster. I like his gun. It's a little bit more interesting than Stratos' gun. Stratos' gun's pretty basic, or pretty plain. But anyway, yeah, really dig this figure. I'm trying to remember. Was it the Man-E-Faces that came with the extra weapons back in the day? People were theorizing that they had overproduced the weapons that came with Castle Grayskull, and they were just looking for a way to kind of dump those on the market. And one theory goes, and I think this is what I don't know if I've heard this in other places, but I definitely heard it from Scott Knightlick, that he believes that they had these like extra figures, which were the Savage He-Man, and they had the extra weapons, and so they just kind of were giving them away as freebies to people, and they stopped because they received one or more complaints from people who thought that the figure that they received and the weapons were kind of substandard, and then they around that time was when Man-E-Faces was released, so they decided to package those extra weapons with Man-E-Faces and ditch the Savage He-Man. Of course, now that Savage He-Man is a rare collector's item, but at the time it was thought as a subpar version of He-Man, and amongst the people who got it. I didn't really look at the art on the back here. Man-E-Faces, his kind of story is that he's an actor, and he changes his face to portray different roles on the stage and in the battle. I don't know if it was just from the cartoon, the animated series. But I kind of remember that each one of his faces had a different personality. He had kind of the human good guy, the monster bad guy, and the robot was more or less neutral. I mean, he was basically could be controlled. But I think it could have been that his beast mode here was susceptible to influence by Beast Man. So anyway, here is on the back you have a demonstration of his gimmick, and he is part of a wave with Orko, Scareglow, and Trapjaw. I have ordered Trapjaw and Orko, and I'm waiting for those to come in. I can't wait to get those. Orko is another figure that I had as a kid, and and really excited to get him. But this version is very different. It comes with a figure stand, which I think is an improvement, and the original had like one of those, like a zip pull that you pull it out and he would spin. He would spin around and stuff. So he had his own little action thing. And another thing about Orko is he was a product of the animated series. He did not exist before that animated series. His animated series, or the animated series, introduced him. So he was. So that's kind of where he came from. So he was kind of a later addition to the line. So there you have it. There is Man-E-Faces and Tri-Klops, two iconic figures in the Masters of the Universe line. Again, I have to say I am really stoked about this figure. He's got a great sword. I wish more characters came with swords along with their kind of the accessories that they were known to have. I'd love Teela to have a sword. Obviously, she could wield She-Ra's sword, but I would rather her have a different sword. In fact, a smaller version of this sword would probably be really cool. And like I said, I feel like Merman needs a trident rather than the sword of, what is it? The sword of Akash or something like that. But he's, I don't know. The Corncob sword's a little weird. But yeah, Teela would be cool with a sword. Man-at-Arms would be cool with a sword. Ninjor has a sword. That's true. But I also like all his other weapons. So, but yeah, it's cool that the characters have like a variety of weapons. Glad I picked these up. I kind of plan to get the entire line of figures. Really hope I'm able to get the Keldor and Cronus figures. I should also mention that there is a flocked version of Panther that is a Walmart exclusive, and to me that's kind of the way to do an exclusive, right? You do like a repaint or a reissue of a character that was in a wider release. Obviously, there are a lot of people who want the flocked Panther, but if I don't get the flocked Panther, I already have Panther. I already have a version of Panther, and so if I don't get the second version of Panther, I think I'm okay with that. This Keldor version, I think this version of the Skeletor character, I feel like is much different than I don't know, is different than the idea of a flocked Panther. Obviously they could do, if they did something like a character like Tri-Klops, but he had different armor, different accessories or something. I think that would obviously something that I would still want, but something that if I didn't get, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, it's another version of Tri-Klops, and having gotten Tri-Klops, I don't feel as like I'm missing out, or like a version of Prince Adam with a blue vest, or whatever. Whatever kind of iteration you can think of, or Stratos with the alternate, red or blue harness with the red wings, or whatever the alternate version of Stratos was. That type of thing. I can understand those being store exclusives. Having a character that's been released, but a repaint or reissue or something with some different accessories or something. Still cool, still would be in demand, but the type of thing that if fans don't get it, they're not going to be like, oh my god, why can't we get a hold of this this thing? So anyway, hope Mattel does a wider release or issues some more of those 2-packs. And for now, I've got some pretty cool Masters of the Universe figures to add to my shelf.